I activate the guest access link. We take this link and share with student. Through this link, the student can join us during the lecture and attend. This feature is called guest access, hence guest, because they are not registered in this class. They are a guest coming from outside the class. Dr. Ahmed is asking how to invite a guest externally, a faculty member, to grant permissions to present the content. This is the point, which is the guest access link. Clicking the guest access link appears shortly upon session creation. Clicking create, a link will appear here, and this is the link we will give to the guest who will join us from outside the class. Because he is not registered in this class, he is a guest. Dr. Ahmed is asking how I can invite a guest from outside the college, a faculty member, so that I can give them content permissions. This is the point I'm telling you about, the guest access link. When you click on the guest access link, it will appear here when we create the session. When we click the create button, a link will appear here, and this is the link we will give to the guest who will join us from outside the class. If this guest is going to join as a listener, keep in mind that there is something called the guest role. The role here means, in English, the permissions that the guest will have. Will they join as a participant, just listening, or will they present content, or will they speak into the microphone? When you click on the guest access link, it will show up for you after we create it. When we press the create button, a link will appear here. And this is the link we will give to the guest who will join us from outside the class. If this guest is going to join as a listener, remember there is a guest role. The role here means the guest's permissions. Will they join as a participant, only listening, or will they present content or use the microphone? If I set them as a participant, that means they will be like the students, only listening. But if I want them to present content and use the microphone, I need to give them presenter permissions. I would select presenter and give them presenter permissions, but students will only listen to the lecture. The role means the guest's permissions. Will they join as a listener, present content, or speak? As a participant, they listen like students. To present and speak, they need presenter permissions. Select presenter to give permissions. Students just listen. No mic or content permissions. Give participant permissions only. If I specified a participant, it means he will be like the students who listen. I let him listen to the verse. Okay, if I want him to present content and speak into the microphone and give him permissions, then I have to choose a presenter. What should I give him? Give him the permission of a presenter. In this case, he is on the phone. What permission should he give? Presenter. But as long as I am dealing with students, they will only listen to the lecture. And this is not their permission to use the microphone, and because they are presenting content, give them the permission to participate. Participate only, participate, and participate completely. This is the important point. So that's why. All right, let's keep the topic of the recap for the end of the meeting, Dr. Mahmoud, so I can clarify things for you without wasting our time. So, if you notice, you all are with me here, and you can see it says participants, 46 participants. So can you all use the microphone now? Know why? Because participant permission we set restricts the use of the microphone. We've restricted it, right? Can you all present any content like a PowerPoint file? No. So who can present? The coordinator and the presenter. So right now, just to clarify. Okay, now there's a question. If I have more than one guest and other students and members are going to participate in this teaching, the question is for Dr. Jamal. Why? Because when I want to give the guest the role of a participant, any guest who enters, if I have, for example, 5 or 4 who want to take the participant permission, and the 5th one I'm supposed to give presenter permission. In this case, let everyone be a participant. When you're creating the session, make everyone a participant. But when you get inside the session or the lecture, see Dr. Bilal. You can see all your names on the left, and there's a circle with 3 dots. If I want Dr. Bilal not to be a participant, click the circle and select Assign. I want to assign Dr. Bilal as a presenter. Specify Dr. Bilal as presenter. Dr. Bilal moves from participants to presenters. He has higher permissions. He can use the mic and share content. Dr. Bilal can speak into the mic without issues. Dr. Ahmed raised and lowered his hand. Assign Dr. Bilal back as participant. As a presenter, I assign Dr. Bilal to be the only presenter. If I set Dr. Bilal as the presenter, notice Dr. Bilal will exit the participants list and will be in the presenters list. In the presenters list, he has higher permissions. He can now use the microphone and he can share the the content. So Dr. Bilal, if he's following along with us and his microphone is on, he can speak into the mic without any problem. Now here, Dr. Ahmed raised his hand and lowered it. So let's go back to Dr. Bilal and assign him back as a participant. Now, about the permissions, this part is crucial. I suggest making everyone a participant from here. And during the session, while you're present with them in the meeting, you can specify and he can present the content. So Dr. Bilal, if he's following along with us and his microphone is on, he can speak into the mic without any problem at all. Now, regarding this part, Dr. Ahmed raised his hand and then lowered it. So let's go back to Dr. Bilal and assign him back as a participant. So regarding the permissions, I suggest making everyone a participant initially, then specify during the session. If I want someone to speak, I assign them as a presenter, then switch them back. Be cautious with guest access because all students, the users, are involved. These are the students who will attend just like you. If I want someone to speak, I can make them a presenter so they can speak into the microphone and then I can switch them back to a participant. That's fine. However, I advise you to be cautious with the guest access feature. Why? Because all the students here, regarding the users, you can see here the users in the user section. These are the students attending, like you now, present with me. That's why Dr. Bilal's name appears along with his job number. For students, the same applies. Their names will appear and I can get their university ID. So if any student does something inappropriate, I'll be able to identify them. But with the guest access feature, the guest remains anonymous. Here, I'm in the user section. These are the students, the users who are the students who will attend. Dr. Bilal's name and job number appear. For the students, their names appear, and I can get their university ID. If a student does something inappropriate, I can identify them. The guest access feature makes guests anonymous. Use this feature sparingly, sharing the link only with trusted individuals. The guest is anonymous because they entered from outside the group and their information isn't registered with us. So we don't know their name or their university ID. That's why using this feature should be limited to the strictest extent, and we should only share the link with someone we actually know and trust. We're continuing with it. Other than that, please do not use the guest access feature. This is the important point that I want to clarify for you. Okay, we're going to leave this feature for now so you can see how it looks when we create the link. Okay, let's also look at this part. Every session must have what? Everyone. The start date and the end date. The start date and the end date. Okay, now you might ask me, what does it mean for the session to have a start date and an end date? It doesn't mean that if I set it to start at 4 o'clock, like today, our session is from 4 to 7. All right, I'm here. I'm going to show you something specific, which is the overview sessions. Here's our session. When you all entered, you saw it was written what? Today's date from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Does that mean, as an instructor, if I start at 4 and it's now 7 and I'm still explaining, the system will close the explanation on me. It will close the session on me. Are you with me now? I started with you at 4 o'clock. I set the start date to be 4 o'clock and the end date to be 7 o'clock. This means that if 7 o'clock comes and I am still explaining, the system will close on me? No, the system will not close. Why? What is this link for you? This is called the session link availability date. You joined at 4, and if a colleague comes at 5, is the link available? He will find it, click, and join us. If a colleague comes at 6, can he join? Yes. If a colleague comes at 7, what happens? After 7, the link disappears. Anyone coming after 7 won't find the link. If I'm still working after 7, we continue. But the link, will this link be available? Yes, because 5 o'clock is between 4 and 7. They will find this link available, click on it, and what will they do? They will join the session. Now, if a colleague comes in at 6 o'clock, can he join us? Yes, he can join. Now, if a colleague comes in at 7 o'clock, right? And what? At 7 o'clock and 1 second. So after 7 o'clock, the link will disappear. After 7 o'clock and 1 second, this link will be gone. Any colleague who comes after 7 o'clock and 1 second to join us won't find this link at all. Now, if I'm with you and I'm still working after 7 o'clock, we will continue working and our session will still be active after 7 o'clock. But the availability link is the one that will disappear. I just hope this point is clear for everyone. I hope this point is clear before I move on to the question. It's the availability link that will disappear. I just hope this point is clear for everyone. I hope initially that this point is clear before I move on to the questions.